to come on to the dais and give your feedback as to what you have benefited from this 2-day conference. Yes or no? Are you ready? Yes. Now, who are those 2 boys and 2 girls? You decide among yourselves. And by that time, you should get ready, prepared, and come and give your feedback about the 2-day conference. Right? So now, we will start the session. Now, may I request the session chairman, CA U.Saran Kumar, to please come on to the dais. I request Sikasa chairman him with a book bouquet. Now, I request Now I request Krishna Loya to please come onto the dais. Request the Sikasa team to welcome him. Now I request Sikasa team to welcome him with a book bouquet. Right. Now, I request all of you to remain calm and I hand over the proceedings to the session chairman.
Brief profile of today's session chairman, U.Saran Kumar Garu. He is a qualified chartered accountant in the year 2010. He is a certificate holder in forensic accounting and fraud detection from ICAI. He is nominated member of Information Technology and Digital Transformation Committee of SIRC of ICAI for 2017 and 18. He has worked with Microsoft and Credit Suisse Bank for more than 3 years. He practiced as partner at SBS and Company LLP, heading the Special Assignments Division for more than 3 years. Presently, he is the partner at T. Satyanarayana & Co. His specialization includes data mining, data analysis, forensic auditing, and ERP process audit, etc. Having overall more than 8 years of experience in handling data analytical tools like MS Excel, etc. He has been the regular faculty for Forensic Accounting and Fraud Detection certification course conducted by ICAI. He has been guest speaker for seminars being conducted by ICAI and other institutions like NACEN, etc. on the topics data analytics with MS Excel, usage of technology in CA profession, Excel as audit tool in bank audits. He is the founder of online training platform excelism.in. He is also the corporate trainer of advanced MS Excel and trained the employees of various corporate companies. Thank you. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, very good afternoon to everyone, all the students. And I thank Vijayawada branch of SARC of ICI for the great opportunity. In fact, I always feel, I'm sure MC members knows, this is like my second branch, though I belongs to Hyderabad. I always feel like this is my other home branch. And when it comes to the technology, the topics what the branch has chosen to get the presentations from the students are in fact next couple of years, that's what we're going to talk. So we have 3 topics on artificial intelligence, blockchain and office automation, and I think they kept in the alphabetical order. So now I call the first speaker on the topic called Artificial Intelligence, Mr. Naman from Bangalore, to present his session.
Prediction is not a magic, it's artificial intelligence. Endariki namaskaram. Vanakkam, namaste, sasriyakal, khemcho, jai jinendra. This is Naman from Bengaluru, Karnataka. Will speak about artificial intelligence. Keep this energy till the end. So, I can read many of the audience faces thinking that this presenter has greeted us with 6 different languages. So, what language he usually speak? Is it Kannada? Is it Telugu? English? Or Hindi? Well, human can conclude that he can speak Hindi. Well, artificial intelligence does not conclude. It can make only prediction. As you can see, artificial intelligence has got the data, but it has a sense, it can predict that this letters of arrangement can be AI. So what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is a big field of computer science which involves training of data, analyze the data using correlation, prediction, and help human to solve many problems. Artificial intelligence has become part of our life. Wherever we see, there is artificial intelligence. There are 2 types of AI. One is weak AI, the other is a super AI. Or you can call it as a general AI. What is weak AI? Weak AI, or you can call a narrow AI, is able to perform a dedicated task. It can only perform a task at a single point of time. It benefits the society by performing automated tasks at a reduced time and help humans. Best example is Apple Siri, or you can take Amazon Alexa. Well, who are the lovers of cricket? Who loves cricket? So people who love cricket will always want it to be an all-rounder, not just batting or bowling. So even this speaks about general AI. General AI is the intelligence of machine that can comprehend, learn, and intellectual thinking that human does. Well, it is very far from the future about general AI, but research is still going on. Whenever we go for a shopping, we see that what is useful and which is not useful, and then we decide whether to purchase it or not. Well, even in this case, we'll see what is the usefulness of AI. One is automation. Narendra Modi government has a vision of making a 5 trillion economy in 2025. That involves a volume of transaction, and for transaction, it involves invoice. So AI can use invoice processing through AI so that invoice processing get at a faster pace and help India achieve the 5 trillion economy. Next, enhancement. The other day, CA Naresh Gilli sir has spoke about learn, unlearn, and relearn. So AI even does the same thing. It learns and it enhances its data capability to analyze at a faster pace and help with effective and efficiency. So the third point, analysis. AI plays a major role in analysis. In world, we have a huge amount of data, but we don't know which data is useful, which data is not useful. So AI helps in analyzing those data and segregate whichever is required. Next, all CA people does valuation report and it in consulting field. So for consulting, you have to give an accurate decision whether to go for this startup, whether to have this budget analysis or not. So AI help in accurate business solution to startup and various other organization. Last but not the least, return of investment. Every investor who invests his money will always see whether it will give a profit or not. So I assume that AI will outweigh the cost it involves and will come at a better profit. So, and everyone say that practical knowledge and theoretical knowledge is different when it comes to articleship. Even we will see AI, how it will impact in practical life. As you can see, the screenshot of a chat. Don't worry, LinkedIn chat won't get leaked unlike WhatsApp chats. So, as you can see the chat, it is not typed manually. It is provided by the AI. As in when you type a single word, hey, the AI start giving suggestion what to be typed next and in help in save time of people of various professionals. AI also help in job recommendation and show who are the people you know and suggest them. It will help for you to take up jobs in various big MNC and corporate world. This platform helps a lot. Now, PM Narendra Modi once said that a signature of chartered accountant is more powerful than a signature of prime minister. So the health of CA, not only CA, but everyone is more important. So AI in healthcare. Usually Apple Watch has a sensor of sensing unusual heartbeats, and whenever it sends unusual heartbeat, it sends signals notification to either to a personal doctor or to the emergency numbers. So it helps in early detection and in early treatment of this. Next, chronic care management. It is kind of a checklist that what and plans you have, what medication is required, what to be taken care, so that it helps doctor and even the patient to get better curement. Care delivery. Nowadays, people need care delivery at a much faster pace. Next, AI in human resources. Audience being in IPCC, intermediate, they are in the verge of joining into articleship. Big corporate, big four, have a system, ATS, application tracking system. That's a software. If you upload your resume, and it will check whether you are fit for this firm or not. So be very careful while preparing resume so that you clear your ATS and go for the interview round. Suppose you clear your ATS and go for the interview round, AI will send you automated emails and call links so that people work get easier. After selection, a new employee gets into the firm, doesn't know how the corporate works, how the work culture, office compliance. So AI has a consolidated system which help newly recruited employee to have a better known about knowledge of the firm and how the work goes. So AI plays a role even in HR management as well. Core areas of artificial intelligence, sensory AI. Many of the five-star hotels now has replaced keys with a sensor such as Face ID or with a biometric so that the people can get into without the key. Unlike we usually leave the key and come out of the room, we can't enter the room. But with the sensor, we can get into the room. Next, physical AI. Industry need AI at a very much because India needs to reach a 5 trillion economy, and for that, industrial requires AI to work at a better pace. New algorithm. As we've seen in LinkedIn, algorithm work in such a way that you get suggested news, suggested feeds, so that your create has been taken. General AI, we have seen the type of AI too. AI in customer service. Customer is a king, so service has to be taken. Now customer doesn't want the traditional call centers to be going on. They need a digital interaction because people don't have time. Streamline workflows. AI can help the companies to solve fundamental problems, normal problems, so that agent can work on complicated cases and helps the agent to work on that area rather than on the problems which can be solved through AI. Facilitates stellar customer service. Stellar is kind of a personalized. AI has a huge amount of data, so it can provide customer with a personalized solution 24/7 so that customer can be satisfied. Save budget. It is utmost that the firm will see whether it has to save budget on agent or it need a customer service. With saving budget, AI can help firms to come with a proper solution and to have a minimal cost in spending on AI. Example, Apple Siri, Microsoft Cortana, and various others AI. Now, we have seen a lot of benefits, but C.A. Jayacharya sir has said that there is always a but. Well, even in this, there is a but. I'll share you one of my friend incident. Just listen to that.
Hey Siri,
Hey Sam,
call my girlfriend.
which one? Tracy, Cynthia, Helen, Blessing, or Lizzie?
Listen.
Siri, I said my girlfriend.
And I said which one?
So you can see this can be problem facing humans when it come to AI. There is a but always. Challenges in adoption of artificial intelligence. Lack of enabling data ecosystem. In various countries, the data ecosystem is not in such a pace that company can invest AI at now, but in future they can. Unattractive intellectual property regime, because some of the countries doesn't want company to come into AI because it can impact human resource and human employment. Next, unclear privacy. In US, Huawei has been banned due to the regulation by the Donald Trump government. Due to that, Huawei can't have a US contract with any of the US companies. So this can be a threat to other companies, whether they are following the regulations or not. Now, since we are going to be a chartered accountant or we are a chartered accountant, let's see the benefit of AI in finance sector. AI-backed chatbots. Many of the investing bankings or let it be a tax firm has started out rolling AI chatbot so that any of the problems, be it a minimal problem, it can be solved through AI chatbots. Next, fraud detection. Now, all the governments want that there should be a minimal fraud. So the AI can help in detection of fraud because in manual, fraud can be at a greater volume than in AI. Enabling frictionless 24/7. AI has the capability to provide service 24/7, which help companies and the customer to be interacted and to be connected. Reduce human errors. As AI is involved, there can be a reduce of human errors because most of the action are being taken care by AI. Advanced decision making. AI has a lot of data and provides agent to give a proper solution so that the client gets satisfied. So, for example, projected cash flows. With a large amount of data, the agent can provide client with a projected cash flow so that client can decide whether to go for this project or not. Business acceleration. For example, in bank, in order to process a loan, it takes a lot of time for approval as well. But with AI, the time can be reduced through KYC to faster pace. Now, bank employee has to forget this dialogue that Abhi lunch break hai sir, baad mein aana. This is a question which everyone has, whether AI replace accountants or not. So AI technology can handle most of the tasks with a faster speed, efficiency. So it can even self-learn with having a most amount of data and perform to improve its performance. So that's the end to accountants? No, it's not. Accountants will always be required because most of the firm just have a data but can't interpret what has to be done. So accountants will be required to provide solution to analyze data and what to be given to the client. Rather spending on the minimal task which can be done by AI, agent can focus on the more important aspect like consulting and providing solutions. Now, this is my opinion. Let's see what expert has to say on AI. Bill Gates says that the first machine will do a lot of jobs. It is positive if we manage it well. He is very optimistic about AI, that it will not impact humans. But Elon Musk has a different perspective. He says that we should be very careful about AI. If it has to be guessed at what our biggest existential threat, it is probably that AI. So it's very pessimistic about AI, whether it will kill humans or not. Even as Stephen Hawking said that development of full AI could spell the end of human race. It would take off and redesign itself as an increasing rate. So, is it AI will go in the future or humans will rule? Well, the question is wrongly framed. It should be human and AI because AI has data but can't interpret and can't conclude. As I told in my quote, that it is just the prediction or it just gives a suggestion but not conclusion. Humans can conclude with the data and analysis as well. Well, AI will definitely stay, whether we like it or not. Even PPT, even video, even most of the medias work on AI. So, this is Naman signing off. Thank you.
Yeah. Now I request the second session by Mr. Krishnavatar Loya on the blockchain. I request students to take maximum 20 minutes time.
Hello. Am I audible to the last row? Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Krishna Avtar Loya, and today I'm here to present my paper on the topic blockchain. Well, before moving forward, let's take a ride in the past to appreciate how this journey has been of this blockchain and what's the way forward. It's the year 1998. The Nick Szabo on the left designed a particular game that was called as a BitGold. Today, it's often considered as a direct precursor to blockchain as we know today. Well, the concept at that time was participants will have to play a particular game. Well, the winners would receive a reward, something that very closely resembles the Bitcoin as we know today. But Szabo couldn't solve the infamous problem of double spending. Well, in layman terms, the double spending problem could be like if I have a 100 rupee note and if I can buy a 100 rupee chocolate twice, well, that's what the problem is, a problem of double spending is. Because Szabo felt that digital data can be copied and pasted as easy as it can be. Well, there's more to history. The person on the right, John Perry Barlow, one of the early internet pioneers. In 1992, he felt and he realized both the opportunities and pitfalls of our new digital world. Like he presented a Presselt riddle that I'll paraphrase for you. He said that if our property can be reproduced and distributed instantaneously and infinitely across the world, how are we going to protect it? If we can't protect it, and if we can't get paid for the work we do with our minds, how to ensure the continued creation and the distribution of such work in the internet? My dear friends, a lot has changed on the internet over the last several decades, but Barlow's riddle remains waxingly unresolved. Szabo's double spending problem couldn't be solved until a decade later, when in 2008, a mysterious person or a group with a pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto presented a white paper called as Bitcoin, a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. Well, this Bitcoin, this actually marked the onset of blockchain technology. Well, this also had potentially answered the Barlow's riddle that I mentioned before, and that's by way of minting the first non-fungible token, NFT, that's called Quantum on the Namecoin blockchain back in 2014. I'll discuss more about NFTs further in my presentation. Well, my dear friends, blockchain applications go far beyond cryptocurrencies and NFTs with its ability to create more transparency and fairness while also saving businesses time and money. This blockchain technology has radically changed the outlook of many industries like health, logistics, personal identity security, and so on. But before proceeding further, it's important to understand what exactly is blockchain. Well, in technical terms, it is blockchain is a distributed database or a ledger that is shared among the nodes of a computer network. I understand it's hard to understand. I completely understand that it's difficult to get the essence of blockchain from this. So I'll just present it in simple terms. It's a technique to store information by structuring it in the form of blocks. You can imagine a 3D cube. Like it has every block has three important components. The first one would be the data. Like let's take an example of Bitcoin blockchain. The data would essentially mean the unique public key of each transaction, well, the amount being sent from one person to another person, and so on. And like data could be dependent upon the purpose of the blockchain that's being built with. Second important thing is the hash. Now, you can consider hash as the fingerprint of each block. Like technically, it's also known as a proof of work. I want you to remember that hash and proof of work, these are technical terms which we can understand it's by its fingerprint, right? Now the third important component is every block comprises of hash of the previous block. I mean, that's the way the chain is entirely linked. Like that's how the blockchain is linked. It's the hash of this block, and now the same hash will be considered as the previous hash of the block. So that's how the blockchain looks like. So if any hacker, like I'll discuss about hacking further, but if anyone wants to change this blockchain, they cannot do so. Because if this block is moved over here, the entire chain would get broken. So that's what the main advantage of the blockchain is. But again, I'll get back to Sabo's double spending problem, like how this blockchain could essentially solve that problem. Like the question over here is, like whenever a transaction is being takes place in a blockchain, it's essentially propagated throughout the blockchain network. And all the nodes, like all the computers in the network, starts working on it to get it incorporated into the next block. But the question is, what if two versions of the same transaction comes at around the same time? How to ensure that only one, like which is the valid transaction, is being processed by the blockchain network? So here are the two transactions, transaction 1 and transaction 2. Suppose they comes at around the same time. So these both will be propagated throughout the network. All the computers in the network will try to work on these transactions. And every computer will actually work on only that transaction which it sees first. So essentially, the transaction that comes first has much more advantage in reaching more computer nodes connected to the network. Now, the concept comes in for the blockchain. Only the majority of the computers will have enough CPU power to generate a chain of proof of work. Now, as and when the chain of proof of work is generated for a block, that is, its hash is generated, it becomes a block. And the same block is essentially propagated throughout the blockchain network. And that's when, like, if there are any computers working on this second transaction, well, they will abandon that transaction. That's precisely because this transaction is not valid according to the accepted chain. And that's how the problem of double spending comes in. Essentially, any transaction that has a head start, they will have more chances in reaching many more computers. So essentially, these will get incorporated into the next block. Now, moving on. Like in today's time, we are a lot concerned about our data security, data concerns, cyber attacks, data breaches, and whatnot relating to our privacy. So it's essential that we discuss about privacy in relation to the blockchain, because as I mentioned, that blockchain is a distributed database or a ledger, so it's publicly available. Anyone can see transactions taking place on the blockchain. So how to ensure that our data remains protected? Now, contrast it with a conventional banking system. In the banking system, privacy is maintained by restricting the flow of information to trusted third parties or just to the parties involved. Well, the essential nature of the blockchain precludes this method. But privacy can still be maintained by breaking the flow of information in some other world. Like, blockchain keeps the public keys anonymous. So you can see that a person is sending an X amount of money to another person, but there would be no information as to who the parties involved were. It's very similar to what we see stock exchanges do. I mean, stock exchanges disclose information about the size and the timing of individual trade, but they do not disclose who the parties involved were. Now, the next important area is, as I mentioned before, is the hacking of the blockchain. Well, if you ask me that, is it possible that the blockchain network can be hacked? Well, in one word, I would say yes. But practically, the answer isn't as simple as it sounds like. Because blockchain network, the computers connected to the network, are spread all across the globe. I mean, anyone with a suitable infrastructure can add their computer system as a node, right? So, for any hacker, for any party to hack this blockchain, first, they need to locate the 51% of the computers connected to the network. And these all are anonymous. So locating every computer that's spread across the globe, and like 51%, that's a huge proportion. And now, hacking each one of them individually, like it's connected to a network, that doesn't mean that if you hack one computer, it's automatically, the second computer will automatically get hacked. So you need to hack each one of them individually. So it essentially becomes, it requires unimaginable computational power to hack a blockchain. So it means that as a network becomes bigger and bigger, with more computer nodes joining in, it becomes increasingly difficult to hack the blockchain. Now, let's move to the next area of our presentation that discuss about the applications of this blockchain technology. We'll discuss 4 major areas. The first one would be the financial services industry. That's most relevant to all of us as a chartered accountants, as budding chartered accountants, I would say. The second one would be NFTs, the third would be metaverse, and the fourth one would be government and democracy. Now, financial services industry today is antiquated, built on decades-old technology. It's exclusive, leaving billions of people with no access to financial tools. It's centralized, exposing it to outright data failures, outright cyber attacks, and so on. Blockchain technology settles and clears peer-to-peer value transfers, and it does so automatically so that its ledger remains up to date. Now, this technology has a profound impact on this industry. Now, for all of us, it's simple to understand, like, according to a Spanish bank, Santander's, if banks harnessed this capability of blockchain technology, it would save an estimated 20 billion US dollars in back office expenses. And now just imagine, with radically lower cost, banks could offer individuals and businesses much more access to financial tools with more capital to undeserved communities. Well, there's another area to financial services industry. Today, transactions take some days to clear and settle. Like stock transfer takes around 2 to 3 days to settle. My dear friends, you all must be knowing about Swift payment system, right? Right. So, Swift payment system handles around 15 million payment orders every day across 10,000 global institutions globally. But still, it takes around few days to clear and settle. Now, I'll contrast it with the blockchain as it was originally developed by Satoshi Nakamoto. Now, that blockchain network took an average of just 10 minutes to clear and settle the peer-to-peer value transfers. And it would be like, it's surprising to know that innovations in this field with new networks like Ethereum and other blockchain networks coming in, Like they are much more faster. For example, Bitcoin Lightning Network aims to scale up dramatically the capacity of blockchain network. Like it clears and settles, it reduces the clearing and settlement time to mere fraction of a second. Now, this technology will not just transform the payments that we make, it will have a huge impact on other pillars of this industry like securities industry, investment banking, venture capital, insurance, enterprise risk management, and so on. Now, let's move to the next area of application, that's NFTs. I mean, in the year 2021, I don't know how many of you have heard of this, but NFTs were like quite popular at that time. They have seen their highs, I mean, in the year 2021. So, non-fungible tokens are cryptographic assets registered on the blockchain. Well, it represents a ownership, certificate of ownership of a particular digital file. You remember I mentioned about Barlow's riddle, like he was so concerned about how the digital data that we create, digital files that we create, I mean, how are we going to protect it? Yes, we have come up with the copyright laws, with a number of things lately, but all of them have been ineffective. So NFTs present a breakthrough innovation in this thing. Now, NFT denotes certificate of ownership on the file of an internet. So let's take an example of this wildly popular cat meme. It's called Nyan Cat. Actually, it's so popular and precisely because of its virality. When this was auctioned as an NFT for the first time, it sold for around 300 Ethereum. Well, that's equivalent to around 6 lakh US dollars. And its creator, Chris Torres, received compensation for its creation. Well, it's not just the one-time compensation. Every time this NFT is resold, Chris would receive a particular portion of the compensation as because royalty system is backed in these smart contracts. So NFTs exploiting the blockchain technology represents a breakthrough innovation for any industry that's dependent upon the royalty system, like music, publishing, and so on. Now, moving on, we have metaverse. Yes, lately you must have heard a lot about metaverse also. Metaverse is a virtual reality where people like you and me can meet virtually. Like I'm coming from Jodhpur. I will not have to travel from Jodhpur to Vijayawada just. We can come up and meet over here in the metaverse platform. You will all have your own avatars like there you can meet. So it's, I mean, it's an exciting place to explore, but yet this technology needs to be explored more. We are at a very early stage in this. But yes, it represents an opportunity to create fluid socio-economic cultural relationships with each other. Virtual lands and spaces would be a very, very important component of this metaverse platform. Like people like you and me can buy land, can host social events, can invite our friends to the party, like can construct our houses on the land. But like we can do everything, like literally everything that we can do in our real lives in the metaverse platforms in another area. But in this particular metaverse industry, interoperability will be an essential component. Say for example, like I have purchased a land in a Facebook metaverse. I mean, it's just, I'm assuming like there exists a Facebook metaverse and there exists a Google metaverse, right? So I've purchased a land in Facebook metaverse. Well, in the Google metaverse, I should be able to continue to own that land which I've owned in the Facebook. So that's what interoperability between various metaverse platforms come in. Now, interoperability is very essential for metaverse to flourish in future. And that's where NFTs and blockchain have made it all possible for metaverse to flourish. Now, the last important area is democracy and government. Now, it's really very important looking at the current conditions about people's trust in political institutions, in media network. I mean, personally, I also have issues in this, but I found blockchain as presenting a really very good opportunity to rebuild the government and democracy for a new era of trust and legitimacy. Now, to ensure that like elected officials must behave with integrity in the system, trust should be intrinsic in the process, encoded in every part of the process. And it shouldn't be a one person's responsibility. It has to be a shared responsibility between every elected official. So blockchain technology provides an opportunity in a way that government actions can be stored as a public record in an unalterable and uncorruptible ledger. Like for judiciary, like to give a boost to the people's trust in judiciary, we can have evidences being lodged and tracked on the blockchain. Also, blockchain technology can also be used for cost effectively engaging with all the citizens of the country to provide equal access to public services like education, healthcare, and social security schemes. Now, my dear friends, to conclude, I would say that there are critics. Yes, I agree. There are critics to this blockchain technology. Well, they say that there goes a massive amount of energy consumption while processing each transaction in the blockchain network. And yes, there are thousands, perhaps millions of blockchain networks working, processing transactions, consuming energy. Well, there is another set of critics that point out to the fact that what would ensure that people would have a trust in this technology? Well, I mentioned it before. Like, if people have trust, more and more people joining this blockchain, more and more computers joining into blockchain, it would just make the blockchain much more stronger, making it difficult to hack. So how to ensure that? My dear friends, these are the questions of leadership and governance, not of technology. Well, the first era of internet took off because of the common interest of people like us, other stakeholders like government, civil services organizations, developers, and so on. Now, blockchain requires similar leadership. Leaders of this new distributed paradigm will have to stake their claims and unleash a wave of economic and institutional innovation. Now, see, I'm not arguing that this technology should succeed or what. I mean, it's a new technology, so it may be stalled, it may be delayed, it may be underutilized, or it may get even worse. Well, yes, even though cryptocurrencies and NFTs are showing a massive momentum, but at this time, I cannot predict that this will succeed in future. And even if it does, how fast it will occur. But what I am arguing is it should succeed because it could help all of us usher into the new era of prosperity. Because it's pertinent to understand that this technology should be harnessed not for the immediate benefit of the few, but for the lasting benefit of many of us. Because Satoshi Nakamoto rightly remarked about blockchain technology, this network is robust in its unstructured simplicity. Thank you so much. That's all from my side.
Yes.
Now I request Mr. Shashank to present his paper
So, but
on
before
the
that,
third topic, in fact, very important for all the chartered accountants
sir,
sitting here. They
but
can
before that, one of the student is interested to ask a question. If Mr. Krishna would like to take up the question.
Yes, sure, sir.
Ha.
So, hello, Krishna. My question is regarding the privacy in
Just a second, where are you?
here in blockchains. So, the main idea of the blockchain, as you told, is three things: data, hash, and hash of the previous block. Yes. Correct? And you told in the privacy slide, you mentioned about how in the future it will be similar to stock exchanges. Now we can currently see that in DEX, decentralized exchanges. So, exchanges.
Decentralized exchanges.
Something like exchanges. My question is, since the main idea of blockchain revolves around transparency, privacy cannot be present. So how will privacy be addressed there?
See, I clearly mentioned that the main idea of blockchain is transparency, and that's how it has been appreciated. But understand, when it comes to financial services industry, like for example, if I ask, even though, I mean, most of you would not be filing ITRs, but even if you are filing ITRs, will you be even willing to show your ITRs to the public, showing your income, how much tax you are paying? Well, certainly not. I mean, that's the essence of financial services industry. Even though you want to maintain transparency, you have to respect privacy because data should be accessed with its owner's permission only. Now, here comes the public keys. Now, public keys are kept anonymous. So you can see that a person is sending a transaction to someone else, but you cannot pinpoint any one person because there is no such information identifying the sender or the recipient of a transaction. So that's how privacy has to be maintained, and privacy will be maintained in blockchain network. I hope that's fine.
Yeah. We will take up question and answer after the next session, if at all any. Now I request Mr. Shashank to take the next topic on the office automation.
Thank you, sir. Happy afternoon, everybody. Sorry, I could not get it. Happy afternoon, everybody. Again, once more. I see many of you had a good food, yawning, sleeping, falling out of your chairs. Many things happening down the office. It should not be happening by meeting, okay? Again, happy afternoon, everybody. Okay, fine. Welcome to the last day and the last session of this two-day meeting, CA Mega Students Conference named as Navasakam. And I am here to present quite an interesting topic. So before getting into the topic, let me ask a simple question. How many of you are CA articles now? How many of you in CA articles? Please raise your hands very quick. How many of you are in CA articles? Quite a good. No, still some hands are raising. Okay, fine. To all my dear CA aspirants and practicing chartered accountants. So getting to the topic, this topic is for you. And are you wasting your time in clerical works? If yes, okay. Are you getting bored by performing daily routine tasks in your office? Why to getting bored, man? Now it is time to get rid of with this time-taking, tasteless tasks. And it's time to automate your office. That's what my topic deals with, office automation. Hi and hello to my dear colleagues, my dear delegates and personalities present here. I am SVSK Shashank, a CA article from MN Rao and Associates Vijayawada, and today I am going to navigate you through the journey of automation. And I am going to deal with some similar basic topic of automation. I am going to deal about definition, and I will go with a brief intro of automation, and I will discuss some advantages. We will see stages of implementation. And of course, what is the fun of making this presentation without knowing its usage in the life of chartered accountant? And we will see some examples, drawbacks, and a quick conclusion. So are you ready for the journey? Fasten your seat belts, get ready, and the journey begins soon. And coming to the definition, automation refers to the varied computer systems, machinery, and software used to collect, create, store, and manipulate, and to use office information needed for accomplishing basic tasks. Many are with question mark face on their mind. Many didn't understand. So take it easy, I will brief it for you. And coming to the next briefing, automation means removal of human intervention from the equation input, process, and output. How to remove humans? Just grab their collar and kick them out of the office. They will be removed. Eh? Yeah? No. By adding computer and its associated softwares to office. And it helps in information storage in different forms like images, PDFs, videos, etc. and etc. It helps in quick and data exchange, and it helps in data management too. Here is a brief introduction of office automation. Let us get into quick advantages of it. There are many advantages of automation, but as time is lacking, I have categorized all the advantages into major 6 heads. And let us discuss each of these heads in detail. Starting with the first one, reduction in manual efforts. So when office automation itself means introduction of computer and its associated softwares, and when softwares are introduced, obviously the human intervention will be decreased, and of course, reduction on manual efforts will help us to get quick achievement. Systems don't show their laziness as you show, right? And it helps in reduction of costs like labor cost, training cost, and its associated cost. and also it helps in maintenance of good HRM. Coming to the next point, reduction of manual errors. Of course, we are the humans, we commit mistakes, right? Yes, even I do commit mistakes. But, who said no? but, so, but automated machines are programmed in such a way that they commit less mistakes than compared to humans. We have to accept it. And the output can be ensured as error-free, and it can be reasonably reliable, but not absolute one. You all are the audit students, and you all know the reason why you can't give absolute assurance, right? You can give only reasonable assurance. And coming to the next one, when all the clerical and routine works are removed from the automation, removed by the automation, won't our employees be satisfied? Yes, of course they will. And the chances increase in employee satisfaction, and which in turn maintains reduction of clerical works, and employee can learn new things, develop their own skills, and get help to the organization in its way of development. And of course, organization can create a competitive environment in its system, which causes its development. And coming to the next point, increasing customer satisfaction. Where the work is done in quick manner and where the output is quite good one, our customers will be obviously satisfied. It in turn results in maintenance of good customer relationship management, CRM. And satisfied customers plus CRM will give rise to loyal customers. Loyal customers will be with our business in our long run. So it is quite helpful, right? And then coming to better decision making, when accurate information is communicated to higher authorities of the pyramid, decision-making authorities will take accurate decision. And when accurate decision is taken, more accurate plans, forecasting, and predictions can be made. It helps in such a manner. And data transparency and safety, data can be transparently maintained throughout the office. And compared to hard data, soft data can be maintained for a longer period of time. That's how it is advantages. Here I want to quote an example. Yesterday, one of our paper presenters, Pranav, has presented his topic very well, and he has quoted an example of Henry Ford. Hope you have remembered it, right? Yeah, Henry Ford, he automated his office by introduction of conveyor belts. He bought works to workman, not workman to the work. That's how the automation has its own impact in the history. It helps in increasing production, increase in employee satisfaction, decrease in the time of production, increase in share value, etc. and etc. Majority of them are covered in these advantages. So that's how the automation works. And then coming to stages of implementation. There are 4 stages of implementation of automation. And of course, we'll discuss each of them in detail. First one, without knowing what to automate. What can you automate? Nothing. So you have to answer 3 simple basic questions. Know what to automate, know why to automate, and you have to automate, we have to see that is there any value addition to the organization by automating this process. Let me tell you an example. Software solve Exia. You might have known it. No, it is quite a good one. So software solve Exia is very used software in MNCs. It is used to collect data, and it is used to what we call as consolidating and presenting them in folders. It is quite a good one. It is used by many MNCs today. And management of that software has answered all the 3 basic questions listed here. That's why it is running such a successful manner. And coming to the choosing a right tool, there are n number of tools in the market, and you have to choose the tool which fits best to your organization. And so I am looking back. And best automated tools have a lot of attributes. Some of the attributes I will list below, and you have to make a checklist of them. Okay, fine. Yeah, I am not going to discuss each and every one, but reports and analysis. Software must be capable of producing necessary reports. For example, in our accounting, a software must be capable enough to produce a balance sheet in Schedule 3 format, Schedule 3 of Companies Act format. and which must be making necessary analysis like ratio analysis, analytical analysis, that is comparison of past data with current data, etc. and etc. It helps us a lot, right? And then coming to user interface tool, of course it must be user-friendly. Coming to software integration, a software must be capable of communicating to other softwares. How can a software communicate with other softwares? Anyone? How can a software communicate with other softwares? Let me give a simple example. Yeah, someone said answer, exporting, correct. Let me give a simple example. You all know Tally, right? Tally. Tally can export its data, export its reports to Excel. That's how Tally communicates with Excel. And you all might have aware of GST offline tool. It also takes inputs from Excel. So GST tool can take inputs from Excel. It means it has software integration with Excel. That's how it works. And then coming to provide proper training. The best softwares can be used in the best way when the best people are on board. And to be the best, people must be trained. And not only mere training is enough, but they have to stay updated in the day-wise manner. Updated information will produce updated results. And then coming to best softwares in the market also provides best training and best support. So you have to be very wise while choosing your softwares. And then coming to the last and final stage of implementation, it is also implementation. So it is the hardest part since our history. Everything can be written on a paper, but the one who brings script out of the paper is said to be a successful one. So there are many hurdles in the process of implementation, and some of them are listed below, and their solutions are also given below. You can see them. Lack of understanding of concept of automation. It is a hurdle. So how to solve it? Creating awareness and training people. And here comes the major one, resistance to change. And yesterday, our madam also told about resistance to change is a major hurdle in the process of development. People don't digest the quick change in the environment. They take time. And how to overcome it? Educate employees, phase-wise implementation. A very basic example of this, GST implementation in India. GST has recently celebrated its 5th birthday in India, right? So after celebrating its 5th birthday too, it is not implemented 100% in India. And just before lunch, one of our friends has told about Ind AS and IFRS something else. And it is also implementing in the stage-wise manner. It is not implemented fully right now. And obtain feedback. Feedback mechanism is also playing a major role in the reduction of resistance to change. And then coming to survival in the competitive global environment, the simple answer is to take an updated and automated software which is innovative enough. And then here you're done with your implementation. So what next after implementation? Party leda pushpa. And then coming to the next main slide, usage in the lives of chartered accountants. Automated softwares are used in the lives of chartered accountants to send auto intimations to their clients and to provide reliable services, and to generate updated information as on the time and access data from any system at any time. And also our beloved institution, ICAI, also recommends us to automate our office. Some of the examples of the automated softwares are listed on your screen. Hope you are aware of it, right? Yeah. Coming to the quick examples, here are some 8 examples according to their rank-wise of their popularity. You might have aware of 6 and 7, right? You must be aware of it. So when MS Office and Adobe are quite popular enough, yes or no? So why did I rank 6 and 7 for them? I must keep 1 and 2, right? Because MS Office is not an automated tool. We are using it as an automated tool in our office, but it is not an automated tool by default. Let me give an example. Is this presentation automated enough? I am clicking here with the remote and the slides are moving. It is automated enough. But when I started making this presentation, there is nothing in PowerPoint except one blank slide. There is nothing in the PowerPoint. I had automated it. I had ran it. I had commanded it. And yesterday, one of our friends, Hemant, has told about macros in Excel. Does the Excel have macros by default? He has given some commands. He has listed some programs in the Excel. So Excel has worked as an automated tool. So by this, MS Office and Adobe are not automated tools by default. It needs some more effort. It needs some more additions to them to work it as an automated tool. That's why they are ranked 6 and 7 in my example list. And then coming to dark part of our journey, drawbacks. The first drawback we get into our mind when we deal our technology, security. The first drawback. So how to deal with it? Nowadays, softwares are developing in such a way that they can deal easily with it. But anyhow, drawbacks remains a drawback. Many spoke about it, so I'm not going to waste time on speaking about it. And then coming to huge investment and maintaining costs. Software introduction into the company requires many investments like investment in hardware, investment in software, creating an environment for it. And of course, it needs maintenance, like to get regular updation of softwares, etc. and etc. Small and developing businesses cannot afford it, unfortunately. And then coming to substitute human power. Hope you all seen the movie Robo. You are aware of Chitty, right? Chitty. What does Chitty do when red chip is inserted in him? Sana. Very good answer.
Shashank, last 2 minutes.
Okay.
Last 2.
Yeah. So it is quite a dark side of the coin. Automation does not help. I mean, it may cause harm to human interface. And of course, speaking from economics point of view, there is a small, what we call as comment from the economics point of view that automation will result in unemployment in the organization, but it is not that strong drawback. And summing up quick, automation means using of softwares in the tools, and it can produce, it can save time and produce quality services, and it generate reliable reports, and it helps in better decision making and forecasting, and ensure that Chitty doesn't have red chip in him, and tool must be suitable to the organization, it must not value. That's it for the journey of automation. And before conclusion, I want to add a concluding note. Why does ICI has introduced this topic in this meeting? Why does ICI introduce this topic in this meeting? Because there is no automated software yet in the market fully developed stage. They are developing in a very quite good manner, but it is not yet available. Our future us are going to witness a drastic revolution in the office automation, and our present us are the path pavers for it. And that's why ICIA has introduced this topic, automation, to bring awareness among yourself in this meeting named as Navasakam, which means new era, new generation. So that's the real motto of ICIA. Let us give a big applause to ICIA for his long vision, long motivation. It really deserves a lot. And coming to thanking note, thank you my dear ICA, Vijayawada branch of SRIC and Sikasa for getting me led on the stage. Thank you my dear from MN Rao and Associates for encouraging me to come on the stage. And thank you my dear parents and well-wishers for making me to be in correct path. And thank you audience for bearing me this since the last 15 minutes. And coming to last one, and all the best to all my dear CA aspirants. Hope success meets you soon. Hereby SVS K. Shashank signing off. Jai Hind.
Shashank sir.
Yes, please.
You have spoken about the drawbacks of automation, no?
Yes, of course.
Then may I know the meaning of what is phishing attacks?
What is?
Phishing attacks.
Phishing attack is something like, you know fishing, right?
Yeah.
You will have a fishing pole, you throw it on the pond and get the fish out of the data.
Okay.
It is something like when something you can say an app or application is installed in your device.
Okay.
And it captures data around it.
Yeah.
and the data gets pulled out of your laptop and it is publicized. That is known as phishing attacks.
Okay. Due to this automation, is an effect for employment?
No, I don't think so, because the reduction of manpower might cause unemployment, but the same man can be employed somewhere else in the somewhere industry, and it can also contribute to the growth of the economy, right?
Yeah.
That's the reason, right?
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Excellent. In fact, after a heavy lunch, even the topics are very heavy. In fact, at afternoon when I was sitting with the managing committee members, they were complaining that students were not really concentrating and they were doing their job. I think for this session, at least everyone are quiet. I'm happy. So maybe the topics are very high, but good at least, you are having all these key important words. This is what the future is. I'll really tell you what exactly the, hacking of the phones. I sent one SMS OTP to every phone. Please check it out. Whoever going to give me the first OTP, I'll give the award and reward. Check it out your phone, one OTP you got. First, whoever going to give, I'll give one reward. Anyone? Anyone got? First of all, whenever I say OTP, you are checking to tell me you are not a proper chartered accountant. How can you share the secured information like an OTP? And out of the entire session, 80% were checking the phone. My internet is not working. Where is the SMS? Don't share the OTP, okay? At least everyone are awake. I'm happy. See, artificial intelligence, everywhere you will get it. In fact, all the speakers at their age, in fact, when I was having the same age, I did not know what is Excel itself, leave about artificial intelligence and blockchain. And I'm very happy seeing all the 3 presentations. And after 2 presentations, I surprised. Maybe this entire technical session I may close without hearing a word called Microsoft Excel. Thanks, Ashank. At least from his words, Excel word came. Then I awakened, in fact. So I'll tell you one, I'm sure you all take money from the ATMs, right? Let's say you go today and draw some money from the ATM, and from the same ATM card, within 2 minutes, if anyone draw the money from Delhi, immediately one pop-up will appear in the ATM message. What exactly it is? It is compiling hundreds of parameters while you are withdrawing the money. For a human, it is impossible within 2 minutes from Vijayawada to Delhi to travel and withdraw the money. Immediately it just stop you. Mr. Saran, I think there is some suspicious transaction because within 1 minute back, the money withdrawn from the Vijayawada, after 1 minute it is from the Delhi, it is almost like impossible. Okay, there is an artificial intelligence inside. While Mr. Naman presenting the presentation, I remembered one client. I went to Apollo hospitals long back, almost 7-8 years back. I was looking into their payroll. In that particular month, they enrolled so many software engineers than the doctors. I surprised. Is it any software company the Apollo is going to start? They said, no, we are still hospitals. Then I asked them, what is the thing you are doing by recruiting many software engineers? Then they said, Sharon, we are working with one preventive automation vehicle. And the concept is very interesting. What that vehicle does, they are working with an artificial intelligence in the healthcare. They are going to build one vehicle. That vehicle will go to each and every village. That is what their vision. That vehicle will be having only one human, driver, come nurse, come doctor, or whoever the person. The person will just go and stand before that entire scanning machine, and it takes all the parameters from the body. It's going to give an accurate medicine, and it give you the proper diagnosis. That is what the future of the, the healthcare industry is. Even in the profession, n number of cases you can find. I'm sure you all use the Facebook. How many of you doesn't have the Facebook account here? Doesn't have. Yeah, I know CS always lies, not only in office, outside. Don't worry, I'm not going to ask how many accounts you have. That's a private question. Yeah, in the Facebook, yeah. In the Facebook, you know, there are pages. You might have liked so many people the pages. There is a blue tick. What is the meaning of blue tick? Verified. Who is going to verify? Is it Mark sitting in an office checking every page and verifying? Or is it from the Hyderabad Facebook office who is going to give the blue tick? No. That is what the artificial intelligence again. You know, whenever a page creates, based on the post the page is going to have, based on the backlinks the page is going to have, it captures n number of parameters, and based on the parameters they are having almost like set of 1000 parameters. If it fulfills all the 1000 parameters, the blue tick will come automatically. Okay, n number of cases you can just go on. In fact, I appreciate Vijayawada branch who at least made these technologies aware the students. I am sure in next 5 years you will talk about it. In fact, the world, I still remember when I was doing my CA, we were talking about the management information system. And we used to have 5 marks question. What is the executive information versus management information system? Now I think MIS question itself is rolled out, because the world is moving from the management information system towards the business intelligence, towards the artificial intelligence, then we'll be going towards the cognitive intelligence. Do you know what is cognitive intelligence? It can feel, okay, based on your feeling. In fact, the Siri, Alexa almost automated towards the cognitive. Tomorrow a device will come. Once you go home, before your mom asks you the question, how are you, what happened today, a device will ask you the question. That is what the cognitive intelligence. And my dear students, my only suggestion for all of you, spend at least some time every day, 3 to 5 minutes on the technology. Learning an application is like you need to spend money, you should learn. The meaning is, every day you have to go, start learning, applying it. But getting the maturity level of the application is very important. Meaning, if you spend every day 5 minutes on that technology, I'm sure you will watch so many irrelevant, maybe relevant videos in the YouTube. Yes or no? I don't think so anyone are new to the YouTube. No, right? So at least every day 5 minutes, watch something towards the technology. Leave it whether it is helpful to you or not, whether it is relevant to you or not, just watch it. Your mind need not to digest it, that's fine. Over the period, once you watch 30 days or 40 days or 50 days, then whatever the videos you are going to watch, that will give you a connection to the previous videos. Over the period of 1 year, you will have the maturity level of understanding the application. Okay, so thank you so much for the Vijayawada branch again, and thanks to all the 3 speakers who has given their excellent presentation. Though the topics are very heavy, I don't know how they carried from almost Bangalore and Jalandhar to the Hyderabad, and the other person is from Vijayawada. Okay, and I wish all the 3 speakers very best. Thank you so much for this opportunity.
Yes, thank you, U.Saran. Thank you very much. This was a very memento to U.Saran. The other managing committee members are also. Thank you. Next, the student speakers, Naman D from Bangalore. Please come and receive your memento and participation certificate.
Friends, as you are aware that Mr. Sharan is the article student of our Nitta Ravikishore sir, who is the secretary of our branch.
Next, it's Krishna Avatar Loya from Jodhpur. Next, next, Shashank of Vijayawada. So friends, we have come to an end of this technical session.